What's up, everybody?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hi-ho!
Gosh, you're looking swell.
Gee, wow. You're too good at that one.
I've watched a lot of South Park.
Obviously. I mean, that's like, I did a lot of, if you ever watched the show Chowder.
Chowder.
So it was a ridiculous cartoon show that my kids watched, but like they had one of the characters' names was Schnitzel.
Yes, I know Chowder. I've watched it with my brother and my nephew a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But so Schnitzel,
Yeah.
I probably do a pretty good Schnitzel. Rattle, 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 rattle. And that's all he ever did was just rattle, 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 rattle. It's basically I am Groot. But
If I felt like more comfortable, I would do a lemon head from Adventure Time.
yeah.
But that just like destroys your voice and you have to yell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's one of those things. I'd love to be able to do like voice acting
Oh,
type
me
stuff.
too, man.
I just don't think
That's-
I have a big enough range.
You just gotta, work
Practice.
on it. Yeah, practice.
Yeah.
That's something I've always wanted to do.
Well, and like I always feel like internally my voice is a lot lower.
Yeah.
So like and I've kind of gotten over it now.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, going back and like listening to the podcast and stuff, it's like, is that what I really sound like?
I know. I still struggle with it.
And I mean, granted, this is again the third iteration of doing a podcast for me now.
Yeah.
So it's like I've just kind of gotten used to it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's my voice. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just gonna deal with it. So
This be who I be.
yeah, I am who I am.
Well, welcome, guys. Poor decisions.
Poor decisions. Yeah. We didn't even say that last time, did we?
No, we did.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Again,
I tried. I tried to make sure.
I get so multitasked inside of my head that things happen,
Yeah.
and then I recall it later.
Yeah.
But like, literally, we did that 45 minutes ago, and I don't remember that.
No, I remember saying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, sir.
I'm trying to be a good co-host.
Yeah, you are doing a spectacular job because obviously I don't remember everything that was fucking said, and that's why you do great with the naming the beers and stuff too. Speaking of,
We're not even drinking a beer right
I'm
now.
not even drinking a beer right now. No,
We're drinking a brown, a liquor.
some liquor. That is some clear
Yeah, that
stuff
is.
though.
So this is Bierschnaps from Bier Co. It is a barrel-aged distilled spirit. I think it was 1 month. It looks like.
Yeah.
From spent grains and hops. So essentially, they mashed out and maybe whatever was left over in like the whirlpool or what I don't know. It's different with the Reinheitsgebot.
Very impressive. There's an applause on there somewhere, right? Yeah, come on, clap it up! Clap it up! Clap it up! Clap it up! I need to record that at some point for
Which
Nigel.
is for those who don't know, it's the German purity beer law.
Yeah.
Where you have to use only barley.
Like the four ingredients.
The four ingredients are, malted barley, yeast, water, and hops. And they all have to be from Germany.
Yeah.
So it has to be a noble hop. It has to be like German grain. And it has to be German yeast.
Yeah. And Bier Co is really particular about that.
Yeah.
Like they will occasionally brew other things. Like they'll do like bets sometimes against other breweries, like for like Super Bowl. So like when they had a bet against Cigar City
Yeah,
when
that's right.
Tampa Bay
Yeah.
played. So then when Tampa Bay won, they had to brew something that like is
Was it
in the
called
style of Cigar City.
Tom something or another.
It
I
was,
can't remember.
it was
what
an
it's called.
imperial stout though,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
not something that's not a
They
German
do.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I think the last two times, they've done it, the Chiefs have won. So then
Yeah.
the other places have to
Yeah.
brew something in the form of, German
So
specific.
this is like way out of left field for them.
No, it's definitely different, but I'm been super excited to try this. And we talked about, Chris Ham from one of
Yeah.
our friends at The Transparent. He works for him and he brought us a bottle.
Yeah. So here we are trying it for the first time.
Yeah. So cheers, sir.
Cheers. Oh, that sounded good.
That was a good little
It's because the smaller classes, have a higher pitch.
ting little.
I got a higher pitch.
Yeah. All right. But I mean, it smells
Oh,
almost
my
like a
God.
whiskey.
That smells intense.
It smells like a
It is
very light.
80 proof. So this is 40% alcohol.
Yeah. Ooh. I like the smell of it though.
That's smooth.
That is really smooth.
That's
And-
really
and,
smooth.
And we're drinking it neat.
Yeah.
And I'm typically more of a on the rocks person.
I'm a neat person.
I see. I'm not. I struggle with the
I
neat.
love it neat.
It's the heat that usually gets to me.
Yeah.
And so I've learned use mineral water too to help cut it.
Yeah, usually. So I usually, if it's not neat, then I'll throw in, an ice cube, or just a couple drops of filtered water.
Yeah.
To just open it up a bit.
Yeah.
But
I'm a big cocktail person, and I think I've talked about this before on the show, where it's like I'll do like a Kentucky Mule or a horse feather.
Yeah.
And a horse feather is something that originated in
Lawrence,
Kansas.
Yeah.
And that was like in like the 90s or something
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So I
mean, this is damn good.
No, this is definitely enjoyable, and I'm excited to try this with like a cocktail as well.
Yeah.
And again, I do.
This would make a killer old fashioned.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or I mean, anything that's like whiskey base. Put
Yeah.
it into Manhattan. It'd make a good mule.
Yeah. Or like even with the horse feather or whatever.
Yeah. There's a lot of caramel that comes through it still.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the booziness on the nose is kind of overwhelming. But,
yeah.
But
I mean, I do enjoy
once
the
you get
smell.
into it though, like it's super smooth.
I just really like the smell of like bourbons and whiskeys.
Me too.
And just,
Me too.
I mean, even some of the cheap ones, it has a nice kind of like rich smell.
Yeah.
I just always enjoy.
Because it doesn't smell like, so many things can be like corn based or,
Yeah.
but it,
Because I mean, I know I've gotten candles from what is it? Not Bed Bath & Beyond. Bath and Body Works.
yeah.
And they do
Bed
some
Bath Body Works and Beyond.
Bed Bath and Body Works Beyond. Yeah. But yeah, so like the Bed and Bath or Bath and Body Works. Yeah, sorry. I'm all fucked
Too many
up now.
bees.
That
BBB.
place that sells candles, but not Yankee Candle Company.
Yeah.
They have like some, I guess, kind of like men's line type of stuff too. So like one of the ones that they do that I've really enjoyed, it's called like brandy leather, and so it gives it a more richer kind of smell.
Yeah.
Puts off a richer smell, and it's very enjoyable.
It smells like rich mahogany.
Yeah, my apartment smells of rich mahogany. I have many
Leather-bound books.
That doesn't make sense.
You have an absolutely breathtaking hiney.
I mean, that thing is good. I want to be on you. I mean, I came out wrong. I want to be on you. No. Such a ridiculous thing.
I could drink the shit out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Down
I
to
love
my belly.
Scotch. Scotch. Here it goes down into my belly.
Yum, yum, yum. I love schnapps.
And beer
Although I don't
schnapps.
really- yeah, what would this even be labeled as? I mean, it says it's beer schnapps.
Is that just the name of it?
Yeah, because I don't really know what schnapps
Because
is.
on the thing it says it's just like a distilled spirit.
Yeah.
But
So is
I'm
that
like,
all schnapps is? Is just like a general, I know it's German.
Yeah.
German.
German. Thank you, HR. So, like, how is it technically spelled?
SCH. Wow. SCHNAPS.
PPS.
Sure. PP.
I mean, Wikipedia, as accurate as Wikipedia typically is,
Yep.
It has schnapps listed as a type of alcoholic beverage that may take several forms, including distilled fruit brandies, herbal liqueurs, infusions, and flavored liqueurs, made by adding fruit, syrup, spices, or artificial flavorings to neutral grain spirits.
Huh. And it looks like 60 to 80 proof is what it says.
Yes.
It's not clear. I mean, it is. I hear Zeke.
We hear him, but
I
I
hear
don't
him,
think
I
he's
don't
coming
know.
across on the thing. So, dude, I'm gonna have to start training you to stay upstairs and not bark when we're recording, because then the bark will come through.
But it's not clear. I mean, it's definitely like has a brilliant
Yeah. Well, and that's
clarity.
the month aging. You said it was only barely for a
only
month.
Yeah.
And because like I've done, and they usually call it's like Putin or whatever, like POITIN.
Yeah, poutine. Yep.
Or,
Good stuff.
it
The
is-
Canadians make it.
It is whiskey, white whiskey.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
the coloring in whiskey
Comes from the barrel.
The barrel aging.
Yeah.
So that's why it's such a light color on
Yeah.
it. And I mean the lighting down. Now that I've added lighting down here,
We
it
can
is
actually
definitely
see
helped.
stuff.
You can actually see the stuff.
Yeah.
Way easier.
This is nice.
I mean, granted, I diffused it a little bit too. Put some like packaging paper over the top of the lights to just settle it down because the lights I bought were super bright. But it has definitely made a difference down here in the dungeon.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
It doesn't feel as dungeony, except for
it feels like a brighter dungeon.
Yeah, it feels
like a dungeon that's south facing.
South facing. Oh, jeez. Well, every time I think of schnapps, though, I always think of Little Nicky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where he's drinking the peppermint schnapps. He's just sold on peppermint schnapps.
Oh, God, it's so bad. Have you ever had a Rumpelmans?
I've not done like peppermint schnapps or Rumpelmans. I've done Goldschlager.
Rumpelmans is the worst because it's like, I think it's like 90 plus proof.
Oh, shit. Oh. I mean, granted, we've been able to try that Rieger stuff. That
oh my God, they could strip bone off of a.
Well, it's cask strength.
Yeah, strip paint off of a speedboat.
It's like I didn't realize
that was made by the military. Yeah,
that's chemical agent resistant.
Yeah,
it's called Cark paint, sir. Not that I know anything about.
No, it would definitely strip that off.
Cark
that
paint
shit was like 115 proof.
Yeah, it was like 75% ABV.
God,
and it was
it.
You tasted every bit of it.
Oh,
you're like 75. Are you sure it's not 77?
You sure it's not just all alcohol?
It's like I should be in a coma right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm not going blind just thinking about it.
It's like I can hear colors all of a sudden. This is good though.
I like
definitely
this
enjoying that.
Yeah. This will make a great cocktail.
Yes,
100%.
Definitely. I'm just mad I don't have any ginger beer.
Oh, I've got some at home.
Okay. Well, I mean, definitely. We should probably split it up because it was a whole bottle.
Yeah,
a 750 bottle.
Well, we'll just keep it here, and I'll bring ginger beer over.
Okay, and I usually have ginger beer because I like to get one of the breweries up there in Weston. They do a alcoholic ginger beer.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah. Called Rohard.
Yeah,
and it's good.
I love Weston. I've been up there since like the height of COVID.
Oh yeah, it's been many years. Like I did an anniversary up there a long time ago, and then I went up there for one of their Irish festivals. And their Irish festival is nothing like the Crown Center one. Theirs is much more adult oriented.
Yeah,
not family.
That town is adult oriented.
Yes, definitely.
You don't see kids walking around downtown Weston.
No. And I'm actually, supposed to be going up there. I'm finally taking a weekend off.
I know. Congratulations.
I'm taking some days off and going up there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
By the time this airs, that will have been 2 weeks ago.
It'll be a while ago.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, what are you going to do up there? I'm like, honestly, I don't care. I'm going with friends.
Are you getting like a B&B or something? Or?
We're staying at like the hotel that's on the main strip there.
On the main drag.
But people are like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, honestly, I don't give a shit.
Eat, drink, and be merry.
Like, I'm just going to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in charge or responsible for anything.
There's some cool trails, like hiking trails around there.
Yeah, I don't think the people I'm with are
like going to do that.
I'm going to be down for the hiking part. It's about drinking.
That's fair.
So that's why I was glad I was able to practice recently.
You got to practice in yesterday.
Got my practice in, yes. This morning was a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we're talking about Easter.
Still, yeah.
Still.
So I mean, we typically record at least 2 episodes.
2 episodes at once, and so we're recording the day after Easter. This is episode.
We're on 13.
13.
This will be 13.
Lucky number 13.
Oh man, if only we get like instant.
Taylor Swift's favorite number, so I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. And now we just need to get 87.
Yeah. 187 or 5011.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a shit ton.
But my family, their thing that we do is we do tacos on Easter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And that's super cool.
With tacos, margaritas.
I'm like,
so
you said you do tacos, and you're like, with tacos. I'm like,
with tacos comes margaritas.
Yeah.
And then we're all, pretty buzzed and did Easter egg hunting at my grandma's house, and it was a lot of fun.
I recently saw one of these social media people I follow. They do like partnered Easter egg hunt, like the adults. So one person's blindfolded, and the other person's basically just trying to like guide them around and like talk them through,
I like that.
Trying to find the eggs and just like taking them through. Like the yard is just like this huge freaking issue.
That's awesome.
It's like, no, the egg's right there. no, over, turn next to you. Like, it's like, no, a little more to the left, the other left.
Your other right.
Yeah, stage right.
Stage right.
Well, like when I did.
Your military right.
Yeah, well, then that was just what I was getting ready to say. Like, I had to get used to when I was in ROTC and, was a commander for groups and, doing marching drills and stuff.
Yeah.
You always have, you'll say, left flank. Well, the commanders, or if you say right face, the commander turns left.
Yeah, yeah.
Because everybody, so you always call it like commander left or commander right.
Yeah.
But then that's the opposite for the unit.
Yeah, my dad always used to say your military left.
Yep.
Or military right.
Yeah. And that really makes no damn sense.
No, it doesn't.
Because for them, it's still left or right. It's the commander that's the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like whenever we get ready to march out of, out of the gym after a performance, it's like, all right, right face. Well, commander turns left, forward march, and go.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes. And, but it always cracks me up. Like, we had times where everybody starts to kind of learn the sequence. And so it's always obvious when, like the commander says left face and he was supposed to say right face. And then everybody turns the correct direction, the opposite direction of what he said, because that's the way they're supposed to turn.
Yeah.
And so then that's on the commander for calling the wrong command.
Yeah.
But then inevitably you always get somebody who wasn't paying attention to the sequence and listens to the commander and turns the way they said. So then you have like, 9 to 12 people or 9 to 11 people like facing one direction and one person facing the opposite. And so you have
sounds like a scene from Stripes.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
And then like inevitably it's always funny like if you have a bigger group of people, so you have like multiple lines or whatever, and you have two people facing each other. And then, like, you just, like blink at them.
Like, oh,
like,
shit.
Turn around, motherfucker.
And
then all of a sudden you see it just, anyway, one of the things we want to talk about. That we've had at length discussions about the cat or butter cat paradox.
Oh, yeah.
And you're way better at talking about this than I am.
Well, because I have cats.
Yes. And I've had cats.
This is something that's been explained to me in great detail. My entire life, my dad explains this time and time again.
Yeah.
But before we go into it,
we should
probably.
How about a beer?
Yes.
Let's into what's becoming now a staple in our episodes is another beer from Fat Orange Cat.
Yes. Let's do it.
We've had this beer already outside of the podcast,
but it was very kind of briefly.
But it was briefly at the brewery. So another beer by what's becoming one of our favorite breweries, I feel like. Fat Orange Cat. It's called Baby Leprechauns Session IPA.
And I think I've kind of realized like they have a bunch of what they call baby whatever.
Yeah,
and those are always their session ones.
Yeah, which
and makes great sense.
I don't qualify a 5.9 as a session.
But it's labeled as a, well, see, this was one of the things, like, it's a session IPA, I believe. It says.
Yeah.
But even though when we poured it, it's like.
It's hazy.
It is hazy as fuck.
We'll see how this one goes.
But I guess you can't really say you have
Still hazy.
You have a session hazy, because that just, then you're starting to get into, like, weird freaking
Yeah, you're just making shit up at that point.
Yeah.
There's no BJCP
guidance for the hazy stuff at this moment. So
this is a good beer, man.
I feel like they need to just not call it a hazy IPA. Because like no one's done a hazy pale ale. He's like, I'm not going to do something called a hazy IPA because there's no guidance on that, and no one likes to stay very true to style on stuff.
Well, I mean, we had 4Cs, which was a session IPA.
But it's session IPA.
Yeah, not a session pale or a session hazy.
Yeah. And again, but that's what we were getting at, was it's the whole hazy has like no sort of guidance.
Yeah.
As far as style.
Yeah.
So it's literally like
it's
almost anything.
It's loose. It's open to interpretation.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is like, all right, if you use like dark chocolate malt, you're not making a fucking hazy.
No. So let's get into this.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
I mean, because it has that hazy smell.
It does.
That juicy, citrusy kind of, I mean, but we enjoyed it before too. So, and this will just be a good one. This is kind of a good filler for us because we've already had it once.
Man, I love what they do.
I mean, a little bit of hot burn on it.
A little bit.
It's almost like the opposite of the other one.
Yeah.
Like the one we had in the last episode, I almost felt like it was almost like a hop water.
Zeke.
But I wasn't mad at it at all.
No, it's good. And as we're drinking Fat Orange Cat, I will, explain the buttered cat paradox. So we all know if you have a piece of toast with butter on it and it falls on the ground, it always lands butter side down.
Yeah.
Because of weight, because of science, because of physics. I think this is something the Mythbusters busted, and it was actually true.
Oh, really?
I think that's something they
was not busted.
It was, it was confirmed. It was confirmed.
Yeah.
It's
not like flipping a coin.
No. So, buttered toast always lands buttered side down. Cats always land on their feet whenever they fall or jump from something. They usually almost always land on their feet. So the buttered cat paradox is if you put butter on the back of a cat and drop it, it won't fall. It will just
spin.
It will just spin and create energy.
Yeah.
And it's the newest form of renewable energy that we have not tapped into.
It's basically like the idea of what was it, cold fusion or whatever energy where
cat
it's just
fusion.
it's supposed to cycle itself
cat
around.
Fusion, 100%.
Yeah. It's such a ridiculous concept too. I've seen
I don't see Mythbusters doing that one yet.
Well, because you don't want to break the internet.
They can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because Grant Imahara is dead.
Yeah.
So there's that. Rest in peace, Grant.
Yeah. R.I.P. But I've seen people do videos of it, and the cat just literally just spins there and freaking.
It's so good.
There's so much ridiculous videos. Zeke, you need to lay down, bud. I'm gonna have to train him to just stay upstairs.
Yeah.
Now
he's confident downstairs.
Yeah. He's become like a freaking shadow, and maybe it's just one of those things it's new to him.
So he's gonna be here.
So he's gonna be around as much as he can. But then at some point he's just gonna be like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, but in the meantime, he's just like, you all are down here, I'm gonna be down here too.
Yeah, I have a shadow, an 80-pound wrecking ball shadow.
80 pound, he's all of what? Maybe 34 inches tall?
Oh, he is
not even.
If he's standing up, sure. But no, he is actually here. You know what? Zeke, come here.
Do you have a tape measure?
No. I have a 18-inch ruler though. Zeke, come here. Come here, bud.
He's about 20.
Well, no, not.
Oh yeah, at his back, he's
like, what is this?
He's like, don't short shame me.
You are short though. No, you can't have the metal ruler, dude. Go lay down.
This guy, eat your banana.
All right, go lay down. Here, let me give you a treat. You want a treat? He's like, ooh, treat, what? We're drinking beer. He gets a treat. He's been good.
He's been good.
He's not barking up a storm or anything. But you gotta go lay down. All right. When I give this to you, go lay down. There you go. All right, go lay down. All right. What else were we going to talk about?
Yeah, we were going to talk about arcade games, right?
Video games,
not just video games, but arcade games.
Ones. So I came across this article. And this is kind of what we do. We come across articles, and sometimes it's this type of stuff we talk at the bar as well.
Yeah.
Right, where it's like, oh yeah, did you see this article, or I came across this article, and then it just starts this whole conversation, which then delves into other stuff. So I came across this article, and it's from GameRant.com. It's their list of 10 best Konami arcade games. And
which I mean, if you grew up. I know for me, I feel like I got the most exposure to arcade games, going to the old school Pizza Huts.
Yes, Pizza Hut, and then Funhouse Pizza.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
So I Funhouse was not. So I grew up on the Kansas side.
Oh, okay.
But we, the equivalent I feel like was, I don't know, Power Play.
Yeah, but that was a huge place though too.
It was
and
massive.
A Power Play, and they just reopened that place. It's called Rush Zone or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like Dave and Buster's.
Yeah,
really. If you think
but just
about
your hole in the wall pizza joint.
Yeah,
that
wasn't freaking Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
or Showbiz Pizza.
Because it was one of my favorite spots growing up. with my brother and my cousin, we would go to Johnny C's Pizza.
Okay.
And it was like, I think it was St. Louis style. It's where Pathlight is.
Oh, okay.
Over in Shawnee off of 75th Street.
Yeah.
It was the best fucking pizza, man. It was so good. But they
Yeah.
had, I think they only had like one pinball machine.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. Maybe John will help me figure out that one. But it was just one of those spots that, like, that's just where you go and you play pinball, you play an arcade game. Like Pizza Hut was always like Street Fighter or what's the other like big fighting
You had
game?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Because Killer Instinct never had like an arcade version.
Yeah. Because I only remember playing like Killer Instinct on a console.
Yeah. I think later they end up having like an arcade version, but it was mostly like first for me it was Mortal Kombat, and then I had Street Fighter, and like a lot of that. So for me, like it was, like the old school Pizza Huts, but more for me it was like Funhouse Pizza, and there was the one originally in Raytown, but then I also it was Pappy's Pizza in Lee Summit. Which is now a Funhouse as well. Yeah. And then the Funhouse in Raytown has since closed. But I actually went to the Funhouse in Independence a lot because my grandparents lived really close to it. Okay. So I went to that one a lot. And it's just like you've been to the Funhouse here in Lee Summit.
I know where it is. I've never been there.
Okay. Yeah, the layout is like the exact same freaking layout. Yeah. It's really weird. Yeah. But another place where I came across a lot of games and even, like a lot of the pinball stuff was when I would go and stay with my dad. Like he was in a bowling league. And so it was usually like Friday nights and Sundays, sometimes Sundays. Yeah. So like I spent a lot of time at the bowling alley that they would play at. And it was Diamond Bowl, which still exists actually. Wow. Down in Independence Square. There in Independence. Uh-huh. And so like that's where I got a lot of my pinball and arcade experience and Mortal Kombat. So yeah. But yeah. So on this list though, some of the games like the number 10, and I mean it was huge for it. Like it was huge for me. I played a ton of it when I was younger. And there was another place I just recalled. Like, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was basically just like arcade specific place. It was in Independence Center. And one of the big games I played there was Area 51.
Oh, I remember Area 51.
The shooter game. Yeah. But that game is not on this list because it was made by Konami. Yeah. But number 10 was Silent Scope. Yeah. So Silent Scope was the like sniper style game, and like, I grew up thinking like, oh, I want to be like a sharpshooter type of person. Yeah. Not as easy as it seems. But this game came out in '99. And it says it came out.
Really? That feels so late.
It does. I thought it came
so
out
late.
Maybe mid-90s.
Wow.
But it was arcade Dreamcast. I always forget about the Dreamcast.
Dude, I love the
Dreamcast. Was great. Ready to Rumble.
The
boxing game.
Crazy Taxi.
I did Crazy Taxi.
Sonic Adventure.
I never really did. There was it was like Tokyo Racing Extreme.
Yeah.
That was and like I ended up realizing later in that game, like I started playing it again. Like you could actually get what they called like penalties for speed.
Oh, really?
I'm like, and you had to be going like crazy fast, and I didn't realize that. Like I was driving, in a race, and all of a sudden I saw this flash on the screen. I'm like, what the hell was that? And at the end of the race, it said you had a speed penalty. Like what? Man, I went too fast.
we still, I don't remember how long ago, but we had our Dreamcast.
I had one for a while, and it just eventually ended up dying.
My brother still has our original N64.
See, I wish I still had a 64.
'97, man. That shit's like 7 years old.
Yeah, I wish I still had a 64.
Oh, dude.
But no, the Silent Scope one, it had like a sniper rifle on the thing with a scope. So like, there were certain times like you would
to the actual.
Yeah. So like you would have to sometimes look away from the scope to be able to see like where you needed to try and like shoot at as well. Yeah. But then like when you looked into the scope, it was obviously like zoomed way in.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And it was a super cool game, and it was very nuanced for its time as well. We'll skip number 9 because like
it looks like Animorphs as if they were a video game,
or like, and I refer to it as like Street Fighter with
Animorphs.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it says a brawler that felt like Saturday morning cartoon show. It was called Metamorphic Force.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I'm not familiar with
that one.
And it says it came out in August of 93.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. Number 8.
Frogger.
Old
classic.
school classic game. It came out and said August of 81.
Which is crazy because, I mean, like, Frogger started on Atari. Did it not?
I don't think...
Or did it just go over to Atari?
I think it went over to Atari. That's the thing. There was another one that was like Frogger. Well, it was like Frogbach or whatever, right?
Okay.
And there was another game that was kind of like that too. I'm blanking on the name of it though.
Toter.
But then number 7. This is not one I remember vaguely seeing it.
I vaguely remember this one. Never played it either.
But it was called Gradius.
Yeah.
And it's basically like a long way shooter, almost like Mario style shooter game where you're a spaceship.
Scrolling like platform style.
Sorry, Zeke's being a pain in the ass right now. I think his banana got stuck in
Yeah, it sure did.
Shelf thing. Go lay down, bud. All right, you lost it, so that'll keep you busy for a little bit. So, and these were always cool. Like, the shooter, it's listed as a shooter up game or shoot 'em up game. And this came out in 85. And then this one was a huge revolution in arcade.
I see what you did there. Nice.
Yeah. But in the arcade games, and it's Dance Dance Revolution.
DDR.
Little DDR. And listen, I never really played it.
Neither did I.
Because, I mean, it came out in 98, and, like, at that point, like, I just really wasn't going to a lot of arcade stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I was usually just staying at home playing consoles and stuff.
See, when I was going to Incredible in Lenexa, that was the big thing.
Yeah.
Like 2002, 2003, everyone was playing DDR.
Mm-hmm.
And as a 12-year-old white kid with no rhythm, I was not about to display my lack of dancing skills.
Yeah.
In front of my peers.
And I think that's where I was at too. And like this is a game I probably should have been into because it was a lot more like electronic style music.
Yeah.
Which I'm into.
Yeah.
Have been for well before this came out.
Yeah.
But
then at
I was
one
like,
point,
I don't want to dance on a game.
No, fuck that. Nope. And at one point, my step siblings at the time, they had the home like mats.
Oh, the mats,
to play on a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, fuck this.
And it's basically like Nintendo Switch before Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Or not Switch.
Wii.
The Wii. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the console thing. Because then PlayStation tried to do it as well, and theirs was just like...
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
Then number 5.
Simpsons.
Such a classic.
Dude, so good.
And this came out, it says it March 91.
I wish they like converted this into like some sort of like Nintendo Switch or Xbox Online thing, because I want to play that.
It says it was on arcade and NES, and so you could probably get it's probably on the classic NES now.
It might be
if you want to spend a few $100 on it.
Yeah, just to play one game that probably in retrospect is pretty bad.
Probably,
but like nostalgia wise, like oh dude, it was so good.
Moving on. And this was kind of a similar style game.
Like an X-Men, dude.
These like side scroller beat 'em up games became so
loved them all.
common.
And all like I feel like it all kind of started with like Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
And maybe didn't start
Double
with that,
Dragon.
but yeah.
Like the Double Dragon stuff, yeah.
Like that's what I remember playing the most of was Streets of Rage, and like there's so many like Sega Genesis games like that, like Golden Axe.
Yeah.
And
well, that was the big thing is like because like the one of the other ones we already listed, like it's a side scroller, but when they started making it to where you could go like kind of further into it, so like they had like basically like
they had depth.
They had depth to it, but it was just side scroll, so you couldn't ever like go backwards.
So you could get closer to you
the screen
or further away, and you're just like
because you'd have enemies come within at you from different spaces, but then like if you couldn't avoid them, like they would come down at you if you were trying to stay as close to the screen or vice versa. Yeah,
but it gave the illusion of like, wow, this is a deep game, man. Like I can.
Well, when we were kids, definitely. Like, wow. But the one that I'm talking about right now is X-Men.
Oh, it was such a good game.
And this says it came out in '92.
That was such a good game.
Oh yeah. And then moving on, this is one that
I don't know. I don't know this one.
Sunset Riders. It's listed as a run and gun game. I'm like, I am not familiar with this game
know that one
at all. It came out in '91. and it says it's on the Switch. But I'm just like, I have no idea. And PS4.
Switch via what? Like
it just says Switch.
SNES or?
No, it says Arcade, Genesis, SNES, PS4, and Switch.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
I was on the Switch today, like trying to like on my like the Genesis and the SNES and the 64 shit, just like trying to find something new to play, you know. And then I just started playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, it's hard to beat an oldie, right? And then number 2, which we kind of thought like, all right, this should be number 1. It's number 1 for us.
Yeah.
But in the aspect of Konami, like their number 1 makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's Turtles in Time.
It's such a good game, dude.
TMNT, Turtles in Time.
So good.
And it was on everything. And apparently you can get on Xbox One right now too.
Wow.
And that came out in 91, it says.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, that makes sense though, because.
But I remember like playing that game in 91. I was a year old.
Yeah, I was not. I was 9. So yeah. So I remember playing it.
Yeah.
Not as much arcade, but definitely SNES, and that was one of those things where like the SNES version, the arcade version, just felt like two completely different games. Because the Simpson one was the same way. Yeah. And it's one of those side scrollers that had the depth to it, and you could, and that was the cool thing about those games too at the time is you could do 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. Yeah, which was like, whoa, I can play with my friends. This is it wasn't you were getting beyond the only 2 player anymore. Yeah. And so that was always the really cool things. Like, I can have all these friends playing this game. And then like that was one of the other games that I really always enjoyed. Was that off-road truck racing game too, where it had like the whole dirt track, and like you could just have the wheel, and the wheels never like you could just take it and just do a spinny and just But number 1 on this list was Contra. I mean, and that's a classic game, man. But this is a game that I'm not overly familiar with. Yeah. Like, I remember playing it a little bit. Same. But I couldn't remember like too much in depth. Yeah. It's something that came out in 87.
I feel like this list is, it's all subjective. Yeah. And like Konami has so much. They've been around for what, like 40 years now?
It's been a long time.
Since the 80s.
Yeah.
So, like, I just remember like anytime I could play an arcade game somewhere, like regardless of what it was, I was going to play it. Yeah.
Like if I went to someplace, I'm like, I haven't played that game yet. Like, hey, can I have like $1 to go play, even for a little bit, right? Ooh. Okay.
That was
impressive.
That was something.
That was definitely something.
That's the first one I've had.
Yeah. I mean, I had one in the last episode.
Yeah.
Which I'm weird because like I drank I had a bit yesterday.
Yeah, I have not been as on it.
No, and I mean we got a little bit slow today too. I know we had one other beer we wanted to try and dive into before we finish this episode.
Was it the German beer?
The German
Grevensteiner.
Yeah. Remember I told you need to use your porn voice with it.
Grevensteiner.
Ja.
Kleber. Grevensteiner. Ist sehr gut. Ja.
It was good beer, yeah. So I'll grab a couple of these lager glasses because I don't even know what style of beer this is. Like I'm trying to read it.
It's just an unfiltered lager. Süffig mild im Charakter.
Yeah.
Very mild in character.
Okay. It's like I grabbed this beer and I'm like, I don't understand anything on this damn can. I'm like, it's clearly a German style beer. And it's an imported beer.
Yeah, this is a cool can.
So I'll let you start. Zeke, dude. You're killing me, Smalls.
Only 5.2.
Only 5.2, dude. Yeah, nice.
I'll let you pour this one as I finish mine.
Okay. Grab your banana and get the hell out the way.
Maybe Leprechauns.
Go lay down, dude.
Fat orange cat.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna pour this one. And this is such a weird can too because
it's not a 16 ounce.
No. And the problem is like I can't even. Oh, there we go. It is 1.9 fluid ounces.
Those crazy
So
Germans.
it is a 500 milliliter, or no. Again, I am so confused. So it is 16.9 ounces, But then the can just seems so much bigger than a pint-sized can.
It does. I mean, it's like when we had the.
I'm holding it right next to a pint can right now too.
Well, it's the KC Cider Co. size.
Yeah.
Where there's like an extra ounce and a half, 2 ounces.
Well, 0.9.
Yeah.
Because they're doing off of milliliters.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I knew what you were
trying to find it.
I'm like, it's the first button.
I know.
We got a little head coming out. Hey yo.
Phrasing.
Yeah, at least it was that or giggity. Giggity. There we go. All right.
Ah, this color is wild.
Yeah. And I can definitely smell the maltiness coming off of it too.
So is it a what kind of lager style is that? Munich?
Probably. Well, it was like it says sulfic mild in character.
Character.
Well, that's what it says. All right,
Yeah,
right there.
mild character.
And it says Naturtrubes Landbier.
Yeah.
I am butchering this, and I apologize to anybody in Germany potentially listening to us. Which actually, the only people that listen to us outside of the United States are German people
Of German descent?
Yeah,
Or-
no, it literally when I look at the stats, it says
we have people in Germany listening?
apparently
No shit.
at least one.
Is it Phil? Did he change his? Did he put on a VPN?
He's got a VPN for based in Germany. Yeah, he would.
I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Yeah, we probably should. Here, you know what? I'll pull up mine. So one of the things we're going to talk about, this episode is going to go a little bit longer. Like our favorite movies then, right? Or not movies. Video games.
Keller beer.
It's a Keller beer? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
Amber Keller beer.
Well, it's definitely amber, for sure.
Yeah, it is.
All right. It's got a...
Hey, let me smash my baby leprechaun real quick.
It's got some sediment in it. I don't know. Which one? Do they both have? Yeah. I'm so happy that we got a little bit of better light down here. So it's got a little sediment in it, but it's... Cheers, sir. But it's just kind of sitting in the beer.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
Interesting.
Hanging out, floating.
Yeah.
But, very German style beer. Oh. It's got a sweet
It does.
smell to it.
I get like honey.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It does remind me of a Marzen.
Okay, I'm like, don't say it.
It reminds me of a Marzen.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was like one of the places we went to. Oh, that's where we went. One of the other places we went to. Oh crap! Now I'm blanking on the name of it. Nice. We went to another brewery and they had a Scottish style export. Like,
nice.
Well, I gotta try that.
Yeah.
It reminded me more of Chickadee Czech, which is a dark Czech
Dark
lager.
Czech lager.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this doesn't feel right. God, what was the name of that brewery we fucking went to? I'm gonna have to pull up a map. Anyway, we were gonna do games, right?
Yeah.
So what
Yes.
game, is kind of like you would say like is like your go-to game as far as when you
I
grew
feel
up?
like it. As I grew up,
Yeah.
007 GoldenEye on N64.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a huge one.
Yeah. Or Mario Kart or Mario Party. Anything on N64.
See, I never played the Mario parties, but definitely the 64s.
Just because that's what everyone had until people started getting like PlayStations and Dreamcasts and
Yeah.
then Xbox came into the fray. And
Yeah.
so
Definitely.
as far as like cartridge games, definitely GoldenEye. I remember playing, I don't know, a Pokemon on Game Boy. I remember playing the original Grand Theft Auto on a Game Boy.
See, and I never played the original Grand Theft Auto
Because it was
top down.
It was
The
top
first
down.
two were top down. It wasn't until 3.
Yeah.
And I played 3 on PC.
PlayStation.
I played it.
I played it on PlayStation.
I that's like one of the few PC games I've actually played.
The first PC game I ever played, besides the Lemmings, did you ever play Lemmings?
I don't recall.
Was
This is good.
Which
It's got a little spice to it.
It was the Blues Brothers.
Oh, nice.
The Blues Brothers game.
Nice.
Or Wolfenstein. I watched my
Yeah,
dad play
yeah.
a lot of Wolfenstein.
See, and I always want to play Wolfenstein, and like that's where like I did play a little Castlevania. Like, and Castlevania to me was just so damn hard.
Oh, this is good.
This is good. Like I said, a little spice,
Yeah.
right? This is good beer.
I still get honey out of it. It's
yeah.
like a sweetness.
It is good beer.
It's sehr gut. Yeah.
This is good, yeah.
Sehr gut Bier.
And then we're gonna lose our German following now.
No.
They're like, fuck you guys.
Don't make fun. I'm not.
I know. And the other brewery we went to that I knew I was missing one, it was Sandhills Brewery. And so that's where
Sandhills in
I
Michigan.
had the Scottish export that made me actually think more of a dark Czech lager than a Scottish export.
They do good beer.
No,
I like Sandhills.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was not the right
Classification.
Yeah. And maybe I'm wrong, but no one usually, again, tries to stay pretty true to style. So I would need to go and look up, and I didn't want to look it up at that point. Like, Scottish export.
Yeah.
To see, like, okay, there's obviously it's not like a fine line.
Yeah.
There's a kind of a range.
Yeah, there's a range. Yeah.
Because one of my things was like it felt like really dark too. So and that's one of those things, with us having the New England IPA where it's not very hazy.
No.
But like all the other notes are there.
Yeah. All the flavor and aroma is on it.
But one of my big games, and this is kind of getting more into the adult side of things too, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the Assassin's Creed. So, I mean,
Gina loves those games.
And they're good. You can just sit there and grind them, and that's like just a solo game.
Yeah.
I know they end up doing one of the versions where you could do multiplayer stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, like I've played all the way through 2 before I end up going back and ever finishing 1.
I mean, as far as like solo games, Zelda. Like,
yeah. And see, I've never really played Zelda.
All the Zelda games, man.
I was always more into the Mario and then racing. Stuff.
Yeah.
It's all obviously a Mario Kart, but like I was really big into racing games.
Yeah.
Still kind of
Same. Me too, man. I love Forza.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up playing like Need for Speed.
Need for Speed, especially the Undergrounds.
Yeah. Cruising USA on the N64.
And that was a great arcade game too.
It was a great arcade game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like they had the whole thing, like you could try and get across the map.
Yeah.
So yeah. Smart on arcade companies for just making more money, right?
Dude, I'm telling you. Like what's crazy is like they still are like developers now.
Yeah.
But they don't like make, AAA games.
Mm-hmm.
But they still are like attached to like, they've been bought out by like whatever, whoever owns, hey buddy. Damn it, Zeke. He's like, pet me.
He's
Pet
like,
me.
love me. Nobody ever loves me.
He's a good boy.
He's been good. He's keeping it quiet. He wants to just keep playing with his toys, and sometimes it gets trapped underneath something, and because he's a bulldog and doesn't have good paws.
He's slightly blind.
He's slightly blind, yeah. And apparently his sniffer doesn't work very well either. But he knows how to shake.
He used to, he's gotten used to me now.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten a lot better. But anyway.
But I digress.
Yeah, I digress. Yeah, we digress.
So many people that made arcade games now are like they've been bought out by AAA developers, and like Sega, one of them.
Yeah, because like all the Sega stuff is on Nintendo now.
Yeah,
and like they were just their own company, console, everything.
Yeah, they fucked up though. They did not They didn't think ahead far enough outside of the Dreamcast. Yeah. And they didn't have enough like strong IPs, I feel like, to really build the brand outside. Like they had Sonic.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
You couldn't bank. And that's where I think Nintendo did it because like, Sonic was basically Mario, right?
Yeah.
But then you had, Zelda.
Yeah.
But then basically Sega did Final Fantasy, was that originally on Sega? Or was that just started on PlayStation?
I don't remember, but I remember like watching my brother play Final Fantasy X on the Dreamcast, and now those games are they're multi-platform.
Yeah.
So
and that's probably smart on them to do multi-platform instead of getting tied down to just like one platform.
Like they remastered Final Fantasy VII, and that's like widely considered the best one.
Yeah, and I know you always end up hearing stuff about Final Fantasy, and I've not played.
It's not my
any
style.
of the Final Fantasies.
It's not my style. You know, I respect it, but it's like we talked about earlier, like Fallout.
Yeah.
All the Bethesda.
And I enjoy them. I've just never been able to
sit down
and because those are some big grind out games. Where, and more so than like Assassin's Creed. You know, where Assassin's Creed is like, okay, you can sit there for 30 minutes and make some good progress.
Yeah.
Whereas in like Fallout, like you sit there for 30 minutes
and you just finished a conversation with 2 people.
Basically.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you're not going to be able to get very far.
I feel like that's why I've never really gotten into like D&D or like RPGs because I want more action.
Yeah.
Like I want to play games like Grand Theft Auto. I want to play games like Red Dead where it's just like, okay, here's a mission, you do it, and by the time you're like going from A to B, there's another side mission that comes up. That
I can do this.
Do or do it at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and at the same time, like with like the Grand Theft Auto, like, you know, you might be working on a mission and all of a sudden something else heads off to the side and it makes it to where you can't even do your mission.
Yeah, because you have to do that side mission.
Yeah, but then it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you just said you failed this mission.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, well, go back and restart. You have to restart it at some point, but you don't instantly go back and like, well, shit, I just spent 30 minutes trying to do this mission and failed it.
Yeah.
And I lost everything. Like, no, it just says you failed it. And then you're just right there. It's like,
okay.
well, let me run off and go do this instead.
Yeah. I'll come back and do the other one. I'll do the original mission in, you know, a couple hours or whatever.
And I think, you know, as I'm getting older, like I'm getting more and more into the idea of wanting to try and do like D&D.
Me too. Because like, I think I love the concept of like it's a story, but you don't really have to follow like anything in particular.
With a good dungeon master, like you can
if you have a good DM,
add onto the encouragement, and that's one of those things. Like I don't really know a lot of those people, and I feel like I would probably be a good DM, but at the same time, like having never played D&D. I don't know how to go about being a DM, but as far as creating a story and, you know, conflict within the stuff, like I would probably be good with like that aspect. But again, like having never played, I don't know how to go about doing that. Yeah. So like, and I you know, I've talked about it before, but listen to one of the podcasts I listen to. It's called Nerd Poker. And they play D&D, and it's with Brian Posehn.
I was about to say Brian Posehn, right?
And some of his friends.
Yeah.
And I listened to him pretty frequently early on, and then like the last couple of years I haven't listened to any of it. But then I just recently saw them starting a new season. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get back into it. And like, so they record like 4 hours at a time.
Wow.
But then they split it up into kind of like what we do.
Yeah.
Where like we'll record, stop, record, stop. Like, so we may do 2 or 3 episodes a day. Like they're doing 4 episodes, and they will go ahead and do the stops where then that's like, hey, that's a break time. And they come back, but then they'll reference like, like, well, if you were just here, you know, we totally weren't doing this 10 seconds ago or 10 minutes ago, because then they're only releasing 1 a week. Yeah. So and then sometimes like they'll go off and do like little side missions, and that'll be bonus episodes for like their supporters or whatever. Yeah. So, and that's what we've talked about, you know, trying to get, you know, bonus episodes going for supporters as well.
Yeah. Well, we got to get that all set up too, you know.
Well, and I want to get this
set up a Patreon and
Well, and that's the thing with Buzzsprout, like where we could do it on Buzzsprout as well. Yeah. But like the idea with Patreon is like we could do additional things potentially with them, and I know even like the Patreon stuff, like you can somehow build that stuff into like Discord. Yeah. So like if you're a supporter on Patreon, you have access to different stuff on like the Discord server. Yeah. So
which
at some
would be
point,
cool to have.
Yeah, and I have a server, and like I might start converting that over to more like the podcast as well. Yeah. And, you know, being able to do things on, you know, we could have supporter nights or whatever. Like, hey, we're watching a movie on Discord tonight. Yeah. You know, come hang out. Or like, hey, we're going to record live, but you can catch us on Discord live. Yeah. So you can get like an early release of the stuff. But, I mean, hopefully that doesn't affect our, you know, like the weekly numbers then. Because like, well, I already listened to it. So. With that being said, though, I think, you know, this was a little bit longer of an episode. Yeah. I hope we don't go over on time.
That's good. It's an extra $2.
Yeah. $4.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But anyway, you know, we can keep it going, and we'll be set for the next month.
But I mean, it was a good day.
No, it's
been a good day.
I think so. We're gonna try and do another one, or no? Or you gotta get going?
I'm good. Yeah, I've got to get going home and
Fair
We
enough.
got to start doing like wedding planning shit.
Oh yeah, because that's coming up here soon, isn't it?
Yeah, we're about 5 months out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Thanks.
But you got your couch now. We got
the couch.
You
we
got a new
the
car.
Roof,
You got a roof. You got a fence.
Dude, this month has been fucking wild.
Good thing it wasn't the month of the wedding.
Oh God.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Hopefully nothing fucking happens in September.
Fingers crossed.
Wake me up when September ends, right? Am I right? Am I right, guys? Huh? Billy Joel Armstrong, huh?
Anybody? No?
Anybody? Bueller?
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We've really been enjoying this, and we're trying to grow it and get better with things too.
Yeah, and we hope you enjoy listening.
I think we've gotten into some good fluid motion, even being rusty for not doing it for a couple weeks.
A couple weeks now.
But we plan on keep trying to do what we're doing, and
yeah.
We appreciate the support, even in the matter of just following us and listening to us and sharing the episodes.
And dealing with our shenanigans.
Yeah. But I think that's why you guys come here, is to deal with our shenanigans.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's one of those things, and I've said this from early on, it's like the idea of just trying to have something that you can have on in the background.
Without really having to
pay
focus on.
To pay attention.
Yeah.
So.
Which we do a good job at that.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely good at that. I
yeah.
think. So anyway, thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
You all have a great time, and we'll see you on the next episode, right?
Yes, we'll
talk.
We'll definitely see them. Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk at them in the next episode.
We'll talk at you.
Later, guys.
Doodles.
Cheers.